Liv Morgan haters are not going to be happy with me in this video. They're not going to like what I have to say, and I'm going to take a lot of joy in it. In this video, I'm going to tell you exactly what that is. It's something that's running under the radar, in my opinion. Look, Liv Morgan went on a very long and dominant run as Women's World Champion for much of 2024. She had an unbelievable reign, and we'll get into more details about that in just a bit. Now, yes, she did drop the Women's World Championship to Rhea Ripley on the January 6th episode of Raw, which was the premiere episode on Netflix. That was very much expected. Everyone and their dog knew it was coming. This title loss comes after Liv Morgan successfully retained her championship against the likes of Dakota Kai, Io Sky, and several others. What WWE has done after the title drop is something very interesting, something that I don't think many fans are picking up on because it's happening quietly, almost in the background. Let's dive into Liv Morgan's cage match history after her loss on Raw. She worked a trios bout on the January 24th episode of SmackDown, where she, Candice LeRae, and Nia Jax went over Bianca Belair, Naomi, and Rhea Ripley. That's a notable victory, especially given the level of competition. Then, on the January 27th episode of Raw, she teamed with Raquel Rodriguez to defeat Bianca Belair and Naomi, who, by the way, are the current women's tag team champions. Liv then faced Naomi again on the January 31st episode of SmackDown but lost that match. She also participated in the Royal Rumble, putting on a solid performance, though she didn't end up winning. Fast forward to the February 3rd episode of Raw, where Liv picked up another win, this time against Io Sky via disqualification. This victory earned her a spot in the upcoming Elimination Chamber match, where she'll face off against Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, and others who have also qualified. The winner of the Elimination Chamber will, of course, go on to WrestleMania 41 to challenge for a Women's World Championship of their choosing, most likely against Rhea Ripley. Now, let me just say this, they're not running back Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. That's not going to happen, and I think most fans understand that. But what I've seen, and what I think a lot of fans are missing, is how well WWE has actually booked Liv Morgan post-title reign. Many people thought that after her lengthy and successful run as Women's World Champion, she'd fall off a cliff. In reality, the opposite has happened. WWE has kept her relevant, and they've done it in a very subtle, masterful way. Liv has been getting wins on television. These aren't just throwaway victories either. She's been getting heat, building momentum, and staying in the spotlight. She's qualified for the Elimination Chamber, had a strong showing in the Royal Rumble, and has been positioned for continued relevance. And here's the kicker, WWE has also been setting the stage for something even bigger. Liv is scheduled to work a match with Dakota Kai and Io Sky on the February 10th episode of Raw. Whether Liv and her partner win or lose doesn't really matter in this case. What matters is the bigger picture that's unfolding. WWE, and I predicted this heading into the Raw on Netflix premiere, is laying the groundwork for a major Liv Morgan storyline that most fans aren't even aware of yet. You see, WWE told us what they were going to do with Liv Morgan, people just weren't paying attention. I predicted two possible directions WWE could take her after her title reign. One option was a feud with Becky Lynch, which would have made sense coming out of WrestleMania. Becky Lynch hasn't returned yet, probably due to Hollywood commitments, so that particular option is on hold. The other option, and the direction WWE is actually going in, is pairing Liv Morgan with Raquel Rodriguez as a tag team. Now, here's why I think this move is brilliant. First off, it keeps Liv Morgan in the spotlight and ensures that she remains relevant. Secondly, it avoids any perception that she's experiencing a significant drop in her momentum or career trajectory. WWE has essentially pivoted her from being a top singles star and champion to becoming a key player in the tag team division. It's a smooth transition that avoids any hint of a demotion or step backward. I believe Bianca Belair and Naomi, the current women's tag team champions, will be losing those titles soon. My guess is that Naomi will be taken out by a mystery attacker, possibly a returning Jade Cargill. Meanwhile, Bianca Belair, who has already qualified for the Elimination Chamber, is likely headed for a big singles run. If you remove Bianca and Naomi from the tag team mix, WWE will need new champions. This is where Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez come in. WWE is very high on Raquel Rodriguez, despite what some fans may think about her reactions or crowd heat. Pairing her with Liv Morgan is a smart move for two reasons. First, It elevates Raquel by putting her alongside a top-tier star like Liv. This association gives Raquel a rub, helping to establish her as a bigger name in the division. Second, it gives Liv something meaningful to do, keeping her in a prominent role without any perceived dip in her standing. I think it's brilliant, and it shows WWE's dedication to Liv Morgan. WWE, and Triple H specifically, clearly believe in Liv and have invested a lot of time and effort into building her up. They spent a year establishing her as a top player in the women's division, and they're not about to let that go to waste. Instead, they're pivoting her into the tag team scene, where she can continue to thrive and remain a key figure. Let's take a look back at the past year to see how we got here. A year ago, Liv Morgan made her return at the Royal Rumble, kicking off what could be called the Liv Morgan Revenge Tour. After that, she entered into a feud with Becky Lynch heading into WrestleMania. She also had a feud with Rhea Ripley, though that got derailed when Rhea was injured. After that, Liv reignited her feud with Becky Lynch, and from there, her momentum only grew. Originally, Liv wasn't supposed to become a major star. She was more of a utility player at the time, someone for Becky Lynch to defeat in a high-profile feud, but things turned out better than most people expected. In fact, Liv's feud with Becky did much better than I or anyone else anticipated. Liv may have missed out on WrestleMania, but she didn't lose any steam. When Rhea Ripley got injured, WWE had to pivot. Instead of Rhea beating Liv in a one-off feud, they had Becky Lynch put over Liv Morgan. This was a huge moment for Liv's career because it gave her serious momentum. Liv had injured Rhea Ripley, which kick-started Rhea's heel turn, and Becky did the honors for Liv twice, first at King and Queen of the Ring and then again on the following episode of Raw in a steel cage match. Becky put Liv over clean in that match, solidifying Liv's rise. That was the turning point for Liv Morgan's career. It changed everything. Liv was no longer just a utility player, she had become a top-tier star. By 2024, she was one of the most over acts in WWE. Her heel character was drawing incredible reactions and generating a ton of heat. She checked all the boxes for what WWE looks for in a top star. As we head into 2025, Liv Morgan might not be the women's world champion, and she might not be the face of the women's division in a singles capacity, but she's still one of the company's top stars. I believe she'll achieve that status as part of a tag team, and that's a good thing. Pairing Liv with Raquel Rodriguez is a win-win situation for WWE. It benefits Raquel because she gets to work alongside a major star like Liv, which helps elevate her status. It also benefits Liv because it keeps her in a prominent role without any drop-off in momentum. This is a no-brainer for WWE, and I fully expect Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez to become the next women's tag team champions. I love what WWE is doing with Liv Morgan right now. They've kept her in the mix, kept her relevant, and ensured that she remains a major player in the company. Whether it's in the singles division or the tag division, Liv Morgan is going to continue to be a top star for WWE in 2025 and beyond.